Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In these videos, I show you how to make a single tangle using the Zentangle method of drawing. Today I'm using a Micron pen. This is a PN plastic nib. Any fine line pen will work. I have a graphite pencil to do some drawing and shading, and a blending tool called a tortillion. I'm also using a 2" by 2" Zentangle brand tile called the Bijou tile. And I like doing these single tangles on these smaller pieces of paper. Anything that you have will work. All of these supplies are available at zentangle.com, or I have links below in my description. Okay, so today we're making Vidalia. It's a beautiful tangle, and it is done on a grid, which means we're going to be making some lines to separate our piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to start with a pencil, and I'm going to put a dot in each of the 4 corners. Then I'm going to connect those dots with a pretty straight line. But nice and light. And then I'm going to separate this square into 4 squares. So a horizontal line across the center and a vertical line. Now that I have that done and looking the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pen, and I'm going to ink that in. So I'm just going right over those lines. Okay, so Vidalia is really just made in 1 square, and we're just going to repeat the same pattern 4 separate times. Okay, to start this one, we make a diagonal line from the upper left to the bottom right of that first box. And now I need to put 3 bumps in here, and I want them to be about the same size. And then I put 3 bumps on the opposite side to match. After you have that done, we're going to go to this center little bump that we made, and we're going to go on one side of it, and we're going to make a line all the way to that upper right corner. And then on the other side of the bump, up to the corner. And on the bottom, we're going to do the same thing. And now to fill this little cone in, I'm going to put some curved lines all the way up to the top. And the same thing down here. And then to finish this off, we're going to do an aura, which means we're going to make a line beside these lines, but it's going to stop at the edge. So I start at the edge, come down, and go up to the edge. Start at the edge, go down, out to the edge. So I'm doing an aura, but just of those interior lines. Okay, so that is Vidalia. It looks pretty simple and basic, but it looks amazing when we put a bunch of these together. So for this next one, we're going to do the diagonal went this way. So we're going to do the opposite way, which means we're going to go up. And as long as we're here, I'll show you the other three. So we're just making the letter X. Each of these lines are going out from that center, out to the corner. And now we need to put our 3 bumps. And then from those bumps, we go from the side up to the corner. And the same thing on the bottom. And add these little curves. On each side. And now we do that aura. Stopping at those edges. And look at this cool little shape that it made in the center. Okay, now we're going to put our 3 circles on this side. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go ahead and do this side as well. Go to that center bump, make those lines out to that corner. And fill it in with those little curves. I love making grid patterns because you always end up with kind of a new shape. Doing the auras now. So Rick Roberts, one of the founders of the Zentangle method, calls these meta shapes. So we start with one shape, and when we're done, we have a meta shape, which is just a new shape built out of what we drew repeatedly. Okay, last one, I'm going to draw those lines out to the points. And put in those curves. And then don't forget the aura. Go nice and slow with your auras. Look at how amazing that looks. And if you go on the internet and Google Vidalia Zentangle, there's variations that are absolutely gorgeous. There's grids that have 9 or 12 of these. And if you're doing this on a tile, you can do this and then you can put things coming off of it or around it or add interesting borders. There's so many fun things you can do with these grid tangles. Okay, before I do some shading, I'm going to put an extra line around the outside just to give our frame a little bit more substance. Go on all 4 sides. And I'm going to initial my work and then I'm going to do some shading. So I'm just going to initial it down here. All right, this is a great one to take a picture before and after because it looks amazing now, but when we add some shading, it looks so cool. All right, I'm going to take my graphite pencil and I'm going to add a little bit of shading on the inside of these little cone shapes. I'm going to do that to all 4 of them. So just putting a little bit. And we'll spread that out in just a minute. All right, do all 4 of those. And then take my blending tool and I'm just going to soften that and push it out towards the middle. And look at how 3-dimensional that looks. Isn't that amazing? I do that all the way around. And now I'm going to go inside these shapes where my lines are. And I'm going to put a little bit all around the inside. So I'm going to do these 4 shapes first. And then I'm going to go to these little outside areas and I'm going to add the same thing. Just going along that interior of these little triangle shapes. You can do them one at a time, or you can do all of them like I am and then go back and soften them. All right, I'm going to start with these inside shapes and I'm just pushing them out slightly, leaving some white in the center. That little bit of shadow looks amazing. I go to these outside ones. Again, I want to leave a little bit of white in the middle for contrast. So just soften them the slightest. Just like that. And then my tortillion has some graphite. I'm just going to put a little bit in this center area. And that is it. That is Vidalia 4 times. I hope you loved this one. There's so many fun things you can do with it. And have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.